I want to welcome all of you here today, and if you would please stand, Commissioner Morgan will lead us in a prayer followed by the pledge.
Let us pray. Most gracious Heavenly Father, we ask that you would be with those who are affected by extreme weather conditions, particularly in the southern part of our United States. Be with them, protect them, be with those first responders who also will be protecting them. We ask that you would use your will to guide us in the decisions we make, that may it be best for those who elected us, all of which we ask in the name of our Son, your Son, our Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'd like to call this meeting of the Cabell County Commission to order, and I want to thank all of you for being here today. With no further ado, we'll move right on into the agenda. And the first item is the approval of the regular commission agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made, it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item is erroneous assessments, land consolidation, split tickets, probate documentation, county clerk's probate office.
So move.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made, it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item is purchase orders, number 292703 through 292989. Pay jackets, monthly payments to Fifth Third for fuel card purchases, ACH drafts for weekly claims experience, administration cost, Highmark.
So move.
Motion's
Second.
been made, it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item we have is citizens registered to speak. And we have Bill Bissett, and if it's okay, we'll just wait till we get to that item on the agenda. Uh-huh. Is there anyone else that would like to speak on anything that's not on our agenda before we get started? This is your chance.
Or forever hold your peace.
If not, then we'll move right on. First item is a petition for removal of administrator and notice of appearance of counsel in the estate of Dorothea Emma Jean Smith. Mr. Watson.
I have reviewed all the documentation, and this is a matter that should be referred to fiduciary commissioner. There was concern by Mr. Tyson about having enough time to become familiar with the documents. But I talked with one of the fiduciary commissioners, and he said the hearing wouldn't be held for probably a month or 6 weeks anyway, so that's plenty of time for him to get up to speed. So my recommendation is this matter should be referred to a fiduciary commissioner.
Okay. You have the recommendation of the attorney.
So,
Make a motion.
second.
Motion's been made, it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item is an affidavit, Phil Nelson in the estate of Bobby Ray Nelson.
You
Mr.
remember
Watson.
the last time we had a will that wanted to be presented as a copy because apparently the original had been lost and could not be found. And in order to move forward, we needed documentation, and Mr. Nelson has provided the affidavit indicating that, to their knowledge, Bobby did make a new will, and they just couldn't find it, so the affidavit will support the proposition of allowing a copied will to be probated, and that would be my recommendation.
Okay.
Require a motion?
Yes.
So move.
Motion's been made.
I second that.
It has been seconded. Is there any further discussion or anyone that would like to speak to that issue? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item is a presentation from Roger Hughes, is the Administrative Assistant Local Government Specialist in the West Virginia Treasurer's Office, and Kara Hughes, Deputy Treasurer, Board of Treasury Investments, West Virginia Treasurer's Office, and they're going to talk about unclaimed property.
Going to talk about the Board of Treasury Investments.
Okay, my agenda says unclaimed property, sorry.
We'll have some unclaimed property.
Yes, we do, and I knew that.
I know, I've got it coming to got the path read. No, what we wanted to talk to you this morning about is our Board of Treasury Investment, of which Kara is the deputy treasurer of, and no relation. And cleared this with Bill. Bill thought she was my daughter. I said, oh my, how much worse can it get? We would take
For her, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. We would take her in our family because it would raise the average IQ of our whole family if she would. No, we want to talk about the Board of Treasury Investments. It's
Okay.
come to our attention recently that there are still a lot of entities out there that do not know that they can piggyback on us with our investments. And we have investment products for public entities of all kinds, county commissions and cities and PSDs and fire departments and all sorts of different public entities. And we've been on an outreach program here for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and we've only found 3, I think, that did not know. I mean, that knew that we had, that they had the ability to piggyback on our investments. And what I'd like to do is have Kara, who is the deputy treasurer of Board of Treasury Investments, to explain what that is and what product we can offer to this commission or any other.
Okay.
entity.
Hello, I'm Carrie Hughes. I'm the Director of the Board of Treasury Investments, like Roger had mentioned.
Thank you.
Okay, so what we do is we invest the state agency funds for all state of West Virginia. So we currently invest over $5 billion of state money as well as local government funds. We are governed by a 5-member board, so we've got the treasurer, the state auditor, the governor, and then a lawyer and a CPA from the community. So we offer 3 investment options, and those are on page 7. The West Virginia Money Market Pool is where the majority of state agencies and local governments invest their funds. So it makes up about 75% of our $5 billion. So it's structured like a money market pool, so it's a stable dollar NAV. So that means if you invested $100,000, you get that if you decide to withdraw it all, you get that $100,000 back plus interest. Our current rate on the money market pool, and this is as of June 30, was 2.48%. There's about $3.8 billion invested in that pool. The second pool that we offer is government money market pool. Its rate at the end of June was 2.31%. So the government money market pool is different than the money market in that it invests only in government securities. So those securities that are backed by, like treasuries that are backed by the U.S. government. And we have, for instance, Municipal Bond Commission is the main investor in this pool because there's certain, bond indentures that require them to invest only in treasuries. Let me hop back to the money market pool. So these are pooled securities. They invest in treasuries that are backed by the U.S. government, overnight repurchase agreements, commercial paper that are rated A1, P1, F1. So the money market and government money market pools are AAA rated by S&P. So that means that weekly we are submitting our portfolio to Standard & Poor's. And so they're reviewing our net asset values, the rating of our securities to make sure that we keep that AAA rating. And the AAA rating means that the principal is excellent, so it has good credit quality. So we have that, external review. We also have other external reviews. So we have an investment consultant, NEPC. So they're one of the largest consultants in both public funds and other corporate funds. So they're monitoring our portfolio. We also we hire professional investment managers to actually invest our funds. So It is much different than back in the 80s, so we have a separate board. We hire external investment managers to manage these funds. So Federated and UBS Global Asset Management actually co-manage these funds. See if that, so sample of participants, so if you turn to, let's see, it might be on page
3.
3. So page 3 lists state agencies that invest with us. That's just a sample. Local government, so Cabell County Board of Education has invested with us for years. We met with them a couple weeks ago, and they're looking to put more money in. We also met in front of their board a few weeks ago to discuss just to educate them a little further on their investment options. So I guess 3 things really. Our priority is safety. So we're investing the checkbook of the state. So it has to be very liquid and it has to be ultra safe. So that is before return, we focus on safety. Then liquidity, so the funds have to be available for you every business day. So you can go in electronically, so if you set up an account, you go in electronically and you can move money between the Board of Treasury Investments and your local checking account. So, we're not here to compete with the banks at all. We know banks help your community and we support banks as well. We just want to do that outreach so you know that we're another investment vehicle for you. So.
Basically, what are the fees looking
So,
at that?
so the return that I quoted you, so that 2.48%, and that was the end of June, that's net of all
Net,
fees.
okay.
So, so we do have to pay our investment manager, we have to pay to get our pool rated, but that's all netted out in that 2.48. And I will say this, so the money market pool is a daily pool, you have daily access. If you need to move money, on a daily basis, we do not, Treasurer Purdue, for local governments, we absorb those fees. We're not gonna push those fees back to you. We don't charge you to have an account. You can have as many accounts as you want, to segregate, different activities in different accounts. So, if there's any questions, I just wanted to kind of present that to you guys. We're always available to come back or individually and answer questions.
I noticed that there's only 3 county commissions, Boone, Hancock, and Lincoln.
No, that's a
Is that-
sample. So
Oh,
we
okay.
have over 1,200 accounts.
Okay.
Our local governments total about a little over $200 million. So,
How many county commissions do you think?
let's see, we can post that out and get it for you. I can also email that to you as well.
Are there any other questions that you might have? Jim?
No?
I'm good. Beth? Any questions? Thank you so much for being here today. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Does the county have unclaimed property? You mentioned that.
Yes, we do have unclaimed property, not the county commission per se, but people in the county.
Oh,
Right.
gosh, it's millions and millions. of
Oh,
dollars
yeah.
in the county.
Yes.
But the county commission itself has money.
Yeah, there's something there.
And the clerk's office and circuit clerk. Sharon has. EMS,
So when are you sending us our check?
I was gonna
Oh,
say,
we carry it
that
in big bags.
They were supposed to.
I don't know why
Supposed to bring
not.
an application or
they
whatever.
have to apply just like,
Bring it.
I mean, I got some back.
I'm gonna send you a claim form. I do have a claim form, I'll send it
So
to
we
you.
don't do it.
Yeah.
And then help work
Right.
through. I'd like to add what Kara said, that, or reiterate what she said. Entities will pay no fees and there are no penalties for withdrawal.
Right.
On these. I want to reemphasize that. That's the big difference. Because of our size, we're the 800-pound gorilla, we can offer CD rates, but the ability to get to it every day. And we want you to use it when it's good for you. Don't use it when it's not. We're not looking for deposits. We're looking for completing what we think is our fiduciary responsibility to you. You're one of our stakeholders. and to help you complete your fiduciary responsibility?
So just some county investments, so there's Boone County Commission, Fayette County, Hancock, Harrison, Kanawha, Lincoln, Logan, Mercer, Mingo, Pleasance, Pocahontas, Raleigh, Upshur, Webster. And then boards of ed, we've got about 25 to 30 boards of ed that invest with us. Libraries, economic development authorities, ambulance, and so on, any local government.
There's only one catch, you have to have money in order to invest it.
This is true.
No, that's-
Although you just have to have $100.
Yeah,
Just $100, I noticed that, I noticed that.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we want to thank you for being here today.
Well, thank you
So
for
very
allowing us
much.
to be here today.
We'll have to get on that unclaimed property.
I'm on it.
Well, if you're on it, that's all that matters.
I promise.
Okay, moving on with our agenda. We have with us today Brent Brown, who's the director of the Tri-State Airport. And Brent is here today to give us some updates on what's happening at the airport and what to look for in the future. So Brent, if you'd like to, you can turn that little stand around and use it if you'd like.
See what I can do about that.
I want to thank you for your time and attention this morning. I've been here almost 3 years now, and I've been serving as the director for a little over a year and a half. And so this is my first opportunity I've had to come to a commission meeting. Just a brief intro about me. I'm born and raised in Arizona, and couldn't wait to get out of that heat, so I decided to join the Navy. And I spent 5 years in the Navy as an aircraft mechanic. That's kind of what spurred my aviation background. Spent about 15 years in California, and 7.5 of those years I was in airport operations and airport management with the County of Ventura, so the county just north of Los Angeles. And then the past director opened up the deputy director position, and I said, "Where's Huntington, West Virginia?" And so I came out for a visit, and my wife and I loved it. We loved how green it was. We loved this stuff called rain. We weren't used to that. But now we're getting our fill. But we've really enjoyed our time here, and I've certainly learned a lot and enjoyed my experiences as the director. So I just want to give you a brief update on some of the projects that we have completed and are ongoing. Over the last year and a half as the director, we've completed a $3 million apron project. Our airport is about 67 years old, and we have a lot of concrete that is just exhausted its useful capabilities, and so we've spent a lot of time replacing the runway, the taxiways, and this project, we're identifying areas on our apron, and that's been completed. We have 2 weeks left on a $13 million taxiway alpha relocation project. The original design of the runway and taxiways, those safety areas overlap, and that does not meet the current FAA safety requirements, and so we did this project. We had to move the taxiway 75 feet to the north, which allowed us to not only separate those two safety areas, but allow us to do some drainage and stabilize those slopes that the taxiway is up against, as well as the commercial apron. It kind of wraps around the commercial apron in order to stabilize that slope as well. A lot of you may have heard recently that we just opened our elevator. That was a $1.6 million project that we partnered with Tioga to complete. It turned out really nice. It's a great addition to the airport, and it provides access to everybody. There was days I would watch folks struggling to come up those steps or go all the way around, especially when it was icy or rainy. And initially, that project was just the elevator building itself, and between my board and myself, we really thought that we should add some canopies, and so an addition that we did after the project started construction. Let's see, so in the past 3 months, we started a renovation of our fixed base operator. That's where, that's our jet center. That's where a lot of the business jets and private aircraft come into. We really wanted to revitalize the appearance. Folks that are coming in trying to bring business into West Virginia or the surrounding areas, you know, that's our their first impression a lot of times of the area, Huntington, Ashland, Ironton, wherever it is. But so we spent about $50,000 in renovations, and that is almost complete. Currently underway, we have a $700,000 renovation project for our largest tenant, FedEx. They actually have 2 facilities. One is on the airfield, that's their hangar and ramp space. And then they have a warehouse facility down below, that's the ground facility. Both of those, they had just re-entered a new 10-year term in exchange for these renovations. But as part of their lease, they're paying for these renovations. We just have to pay for the upfront cost. So there's 2 projects there's 3 projects that are up and coming with the FAA. 2 of which are through the Airport Improvement Program. That is a $2.2 million FAA grant that we received, and that is, we've got some, with all this rain in the past year, we've got some serious slides happening. We're on the verge of losing our snow removal equipment building. That slide has grown so much that it's now butted up against the building, and the sidewalk around it is starting to fall over. But we just received those funds, so construction should be starting fairly soon on that. Just down the taxiway box drop from the building is a slide that's taking out our perimeter fencing, so we have to repair that because it's encroaching on the taxiway safety area. It hasn't been announced yet, but we should be receiving a it's actually a $4.2 million project to repair a slide that is on our runway safety area. That is new this year. It's been growing as we get more rain, but we've identified that, and we're spending a lot of money on stabilizing these slopes. Number one, for the safety of our flying public, but you know, we'd love to have these funds go to expanding our terminal or getting jetways or things like that, but we have to, you know, safety comes first, so putting those efforts there. One of the big items that happened recently was the Trump administration put out $1 billion worth of additional supplemental funds outside of the EIP program for airports to compete for that don't necessarily compete well against the larger airports. And 127 airports received funds from these $1 billion, and we were one of them. We got $10 million for phase 1 of a large project on the south edge of our runway safety area. We have a pond that the state identified as an illegal dam. So we started draining that, and it exposed a big slide, and it was a major slide, again, encroaching into our runway safety area. The issue with that, if it goes so far into our runway safety area, we have to close the runway. Close the runway, we're going to hurt a lot of folks, not being able to fly, but also the people that work there and do business there. And so that's why we're spending all this money. We got the initial $10 million for phase 1. This is a $32 million project. Keep in mind that these funds, all of these grants that we get from the FAA, those are 90% federal funds and 10% match. Historically, we've been getting 5% match from the state, and the other 5% comes from the airport. So you can see we're spending an awful lot of money, of our own money, to try to upgrade and stabilize the airport as far as safety goes. So, a couple projects on our radar that I'll continue to speak about here in a minute, but we want to continue those efforts on first impressions and of our terminal. So we've already identified our jet center, but now we want to move into the terminal. I don't know if any of you have flown out of it recently, but our carpet, in my opinion, should never have been put in. It was just way too light of a color, and it's very, very badly stained and worn. We've had several companies come in to try to remove those stains without any luck. So we're gonna move on to try to just replace all of that throughout the terminal. And then when we did the the elevator canopies, it looks fantastic, nice fresh coat of paint, but it's kind of tied into our existing canopy, our old canopy, and so now there's a clear distinction between the two. So we want to continue painting that old canopy so that we have a fluid appearance with our outside appearance of the terminal. And then our parking, that's a huge issue for us, particularly this year. We are more than a month ahead of where we were last year as far as parking goes, and for several weeks now, it's just been slammed with parking. We've had to come up with some new ideas on where to put these folks, because we don't want to turn anybody away. Last thing we want to do is make them upset by turning them away as they're coming up to park at the airport and there's no room to park. So we've been using areas that have been used for other stuff. We've been moving equipment around and things to try to help appease their needs. So one of the things that is also an issue is our parking machines. It's an old antiquated system. They no longer make those machines anymore, and they are stopping the production on parts. So they've been a real problem for us. So we're gonna replace those parking machines, make it a little easier for our customers to get in and out there. So a couple of things coming up. Well, let me just say that this past year we've had 104,000 enplanements. That's people that are getting on aircraft, leaving Huntington, going somewhere else. That $100,000 benchmark, or 100,000 benchmark for enplanements, allows us $1.2 million of entitlement money from the FAA. If we go dip below that, it drops considerably to 150,000. So we want to stay above that 100,000 enplanement mark. This year, with the addition of the Destin route, it looks like we will continue that trend to stay above that 100,000 mark. We have seen some dip in the enplanements for American. In the first quarter, American, they really bumped up their prices out of Huntington, which did not compete well with Charleston. And so myself and a group that we use for air service development have been really pushing them hard to bring those prices back down more comparable to Charleston, which I was on their website yesterday, and it looks like they have done that. I was just looking at a flight from to Los Angeles round trip, and it was $400 if you buy them in advance, which is really great because they were $600, $650 here about a month ago. We are doing a couple events coming up. One of them is a 5K on our runway. That's on August 17th, and that'll be in the evening. Partially because we have to accommodate for all of our commercial traffic. The other part is so that we can light up the runway with the runway lights. It looks really cool. Should be a great event. This event, the funds are going to go to support our honor flight that takes all of our veterans in the area to take them over to DC. The honor flight will be October 5th. I'm not sure if they're selling tickets right now for the 5K, but I believe it should be happening very soon. You can either look up on our website, Facebook, and then the Honor Flight, you type, search Honor Flight Huntington, there'll be a link for this 5K. We're trying to get as many people as possible. I think if you register before the event, I think they're giving out a T-shirt. And that's all I have as far as updates for the airport. We've been doing a lot. We're continuing that trend. As long as we don't encounter any more slides, we'll be able to make progress on other things that will continue to help our airport grow. I do want to take this time to, as I mentioned before, those three items: replacing the carpet in the terminal, painting the canopy, replacing those machines. Those are very expensive items, and I just want to hand you guys this letter here.
Thanks.
So, on behalf of the airport and the airport authority, I would like to respectfully request $100,000 to help assist us in trying to revitalize and just make everyone that are coming, going, whether they're new or whether they're continuous customers, but feel like that we really want to provide a very good experience, customer experience for them, making things look nice, making things safe, user-friendly, ease in and out of the airport, and we feel like these projects do that. So I'd like to consider this request, and we appreciate your partnership.
Do you want to very quickly tell them what the ultimate goal is to alleviate the parking?
Yeah, so, the parking structure has been identified for several years now. We are continuing down that road. Where it stands right now is we think with the partnership of Kiowa, we think we can get about 80% of that funded, and with a 20% local match. So we're still trying to figure out which direction we want to go. There's two options. There's a build-in-place, which is a higher construction cost, but a much, much lower maintenance cost overall. And then there's the prefab, which, the parts of the structure are made somewhere else that ship them in and they piece them together with Legos. A much cheaper construction cost, but a very high maintenance cost. So we're still trying to figure that out. And then along with identifying where we're going to get that 20% match.
Now, that's going to be a good bit of money in itself.
Yes, it will. Yeah, the build in place, the current estimate is around $50 million. A prefab is probably in the neighborhood of 15 to 16 million.
But a parking garage would be wonderful.
Absolutely, yes. That is our goal. I just want to thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. We
I have a
appreciate that.
question.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Your Myrtle Beach air service with Allegiant, has there been any discussion with them to expand the season?
We have asked for that. We continue to ask for that. They're really weird how they do their scheduling. As you know, last year it extended past the holiday in September. This year, with the addition of Destin, I think they were a little worried that might pull some of the Myrtle Beach flyers with customers. And I suspect that they're going to do it, which would happen in the next week or two. They try to give us at least a month in advance. But they don't give me access to the schedulers. I have to go through my station rep, I guess is what you want to call them, out in Vegas. And if the numbers are good and we continue to get airplanes that are full, I'm pretty sure that they will. They just haven't given me the thumbs up for it.
Has Destin been successful?
It's been very successful, yes. Yeah. And I think a lot of people are very happy about that. I think a lot of good media, on social media, a lot of good comments. Yes.
What's your plans to replace the carpet? Is it going to be with another carpet, or would it be
No,
a
we're
different
gonna-
material?
Yeah, different material. We've looked at it's not ceramic.
It's some kind of a tile.
It's almost like a wood flooring. It's a laminate material, but it's got like a 30-year commercial warranty on it. It'll last a lot longer, and we'll be able to clean up spills and stains. So yeah, we're looking at getting away from the carpet.
Do you find that the president of the airport board's easy to work with?
Loaded question.
Commissioner Carpenter has been very supportive, and been very good. We appreciate the partnership with Caddo County.
With all of the funding and things, would you consider the airport profitable, break even? Obviously, gets a lot of grants to keep things going. How do you judge that or estimate it or that sort of thing?
So our operational costs, we rely heavily on our parking, so our summer season is big for us. And then our other item is fuel sales. Our tenants like FedEx and stuff, they are helpful and needed, but we just don't have a lot of tenants like that.
Right.
And we don't have, your traditional airport that is not in this region is flat. It's got a lot of land around it, has the ability to lease out non-aviation related businesses.
Sure.
They have business parks and stuff. That's all supplementing the operational cost. But we don't have that luxury, so we have to get creative on where we get our funds. But over the last, probably eight or so years, we've actually done fairly well, trying to break even and maybe coming in a little bit ahead.
Wasn't there some thought of the land on the south side of the runway being developed into something, or is there something there now? I don't.
Yeah, we're partnered with Ashland Alliance, HADCO, several other folks that are trying to help us market that. We've attended several trade shows. Mainly those trade shows are aircraft maintenance related. So we use lead generation companies that help us set those meetings up, and had a lot of meetings, folks that are interested in at least looking into our area. And I rely heavily on Dave Living and Tim Gibbs, Bill Dingus, those folks to continue those relationships and work out those details. But we haven't had any obviously takers, but certainly a lot of looks.
What is that acreage now? I've forgotten.
We have 95.
95,
acres
yeah.
on the south side.
And it's all flat land. It's a perfect place.
Yeah.
If you
About
could-
12 of those acres, I think we can actually separate that from the aviation side, so that'll help us kind of maybe spur some other interests that maybe don't need the airport.
Has our new Secretary of Commerce, Dave Gaunch, toured the airport yet?
No.
Okay, good idea.
We have talked to the secretary about the MRO project.
Yeah.
He is aware of it.
Y'all are welcome to come up anytime. I'd be happy to show you these projects, go up in the tower, kind of explain how things work.
I hear good things about you, so, from my counterpart here.
He's done a tremendous job since he's been the director at the airport, and we're extremely excited to have him there. You heard about all the grant monies. There has to be somebody going after all that grant money, and he has just done a tremendous job of that. And he might have come from far away, but he fits in beautifully with our community, and he's done a great job for the airport. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Mutual love
And
fest.
we also have with us Bill Bissett, who is president of the Chamber of Commerce, and Bill had something he'd like to say.
Thank you, Commissioner. I just want to echo what Brent said, and I agree with you 100%. We've got the right guy running Huntington Tri-State Airport. He does an excellent job. I think his challenge is a lot of the monies that he gets through these grants and these funds are dedicated. That's the challenge. They have to go for specific things, and we've all been there, struggling with that other times. But as we look at the maintenance, repair, overhaul, manufacturing that could happen right next to the airport, as we bring in site selection people for business leaders to invest here at home, one of the first things they see when they get off that plane and we see them eyeball to eyeball is that carpet.
Oh,
And it
it's
does
awful.
look bad. There's no other words for it. So I think it's something we could kick the can down the road and think 2020, 2021. But with your help, I think we can make an airport that's functioning well look much better. I like what Brent said, that safety is first and should be, but the importance of optics is there too. But if the commission could help us, we'd appreciate it a great deal. I serve on the airport authority and I'm honored to do so. But again, it's trying to find those funds that we can use for things that to some may appear cosmetic, but as all of us know in our businesses, it can be, what's the place like? The carpet in the airport wasn't clean. I mean, it's the kind of thing people remember. But I certainly don't think it's a large amount of money, but at the same time, I think it corrects a problem that makes us all look better. Thank you.
Thank you. I know Brent talked about the upgrade to the area where the private planes come in. A few years ago, I was out there to meet John McCain when he and his wife flew in, and that was probably the most embarrassing moment for me, because when they walked through there, that place was deplorable at that point in time. And it has had some things done to it, but it did need a complete overhaul. So if Melania Trump comes to town, we want her to make sure she has a beautiful place to walk into when she first sees Huntington. And so I think that's being taken care of, and it's a real asset. Thank you all so much. We appreciate you being here today, and we'll take your request into consideration. Thank you. At this time, we'll move on to on our agenda to the next item, which deals with a resolution in support of Prevention Empowerment Partnership. This is United Way, and they were here at our last meeting, and we told them we would be doing the resolution.
Better hurry with this so we can get it to them.
I know.
Yeah, they're having their event today at noon to 5, and it's a summit, and they're gonna have a presentation by the city of Huntington, and they asked that we also be in support. So we'll be presenting that today.
Okay.
If we vote for it, that is.
Okay, you have the resolution before you.
I make a motion that we approve.
Second.
The motion's been made, it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Approval of hotel motel occupancy tax funding request. And this is just a partial list of the requests that have come in.
Good. I was going to say that due to lack of complete information, there may be more to come. Right. So move of those who.
Which ones on here are we approving? Are they marked?
It's right. I thought it was this column over here.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, it's the last column that we've actually approved or looked at. What we run into, we ask for information from these organizations that request money, such as, how did you spend the money that you got last year? We need to know. And we've not been able to get a lot of the information that we need. And this year we said, you will provide it or we're not going to fund you. So these are the people who provided the funding. We have it right here.
Is it the last column, Beth?
It is.
Oh, okay.
We're not going to fund you if you don't give us the information that we have to have for our audits and everything. We have to know how this money's being spent. And then your request needs to identify exactly how you intend to spend the money that we're going to give you this year. So these are the people who applied, provided us the information, and they're being approved today. But we still have more who have not, and we gave them a deadline of July 15th. So there will be more yet to come.
I move we approve the partial list.
Second.
Motion's been made, it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next, we have approval of the senior citizen levy funding, and that is in the same situation. It's just a partial list.
So move.
But is that just one then?
Yes.
Okay. Faith in action. Okay, gotcha. I second that.
Motion's been made, it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item is a resolution in the matter of pledging of temporary letters of credit by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank.
So move.
Motion's been made,
Second.
it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item is the matter of pledging of temporary letters of credit by West Banco and Wheeling.
And I move that we approve.
Second.
Motion's been made, it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Next item is a letter from Phyllis Smith for the employment of Elizabeth Grace Taylor as a full-time employee.
So move.
Second that.
Motion's been made, it has been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item is a letter from Phyllis Smith concerning the coal severance fund carryover for 2018 and 2019.
The county clerk prepares these every year for coal severance. The particular fund two is due to the state auditor's office by July 15th. The other carryover letters for general county and other special funds are due July 30th to the auditor's office, but coal severance is the 15th, so that's what's on this agenda. And the amount of the revision to be made for the carryover letter is $85,133.07.
Don't get much coal severance anymore, do we?
No,
Does that go to the general fund, or where
no,
does
it's
that go?
Fund Two. Coal severance is Fund Two. And it has been used to pay the,
Animal shelter.
animal shelter, obligation. That's where it goes to.
We used to have more than enough to do that, and we did some other things, but
Right.
it's just dwindled.
Well, coal's on the uptick, so maybe more will come in.
That would be nice.
So moved.
Motion's been made,
Second.
has been seconded. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item is the dog fund, $3.20.
Did we,
You didn't do
there's,
that.
there's two motions.
I'm sorry.
Two,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Resolution.
The resolution on the coal severance budget revision number 1. We have to revise the budget to do that, don't we?
so move.
Second
Motion's
that.
been made, it's been seconded. Is there any discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
Okay.
Motion carries. Now we're to the dog fund of $3.20.
I don't know.
Silence, pure silence.
I laugh every time.
So move.
Motion's been
Only one dog that
made.
was purchased in the whole county. Okay.
Motion's been made,
Second.
has been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item is software license agreement, Cabell County Commission, and how do you pronounce that? Avenue Insights and Analytics?
Yes.
Give me more information on that.
This is the software that Software Systems provides. It's a budget accounting program that the county clerk has been looking at now for a couple of years, well, we tried since she's been here, to replace the current CSSI program.
That's where we can work with the sheriff's office. We have a different software system than he has, so this will be what he will coincide with his, so we can work together to make sure.
And that's a good thing, yeah.
I see you get a rocket engine too, it says on here.
Yeah.
A rocket in, is what we need.
Budget accounting, which includes rocket engine and rocket licenses.
I'm looking forward to that rocket engine. Okay, what's your pleasure?
Yeah, so move.
Second.
Motion's been made, it's been seconded. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
You have to pay for that yourself? I mean, your department? Yep.
30,000.
Yep.
Okay, the next is a resolution for the employment of Justin Patrick Anderson, Brittany Jade Ann Branham, Kyler Shane Carson, Angela Nicole Johnson, Whitney Marie Jones, Jerry Brent Ryder, and Charles Allen Shoemaker. All of them are per diem except Charles Allen, who would be full-time EMT.
So move.
Let's go ahead and do it together. Reclassifications of Tony Pauley, full-time EMT, Sam Snyder, full-time EMT, and Joshua Thompson, full-time EMT.
So move that.
Okay, motion's been made.
Second.
It's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item is the approval of the lease agreement for Family Court.
This is the same lease that just has the new amount that was agreed upon for the current fiscal year. The prior lease that was signed was just up until the end of this past fiscal year.
Which
Okay.
is,
Provisions of the lessor's responsibility.
Right.
yeah, it's a pass-through.
Right.
so many words. So move.
Motion's been made.
Second.
It's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. And next, we have a resolution, state budget revision, number one.
The first budget revision on general county, Fund One. The main reason for it was the new amount on the family court space to reflect the 10,836 a month. And then also during the back and forth with the auditor's office, there were 4 different accounts that had just moved down for whatever reason, and I just put them back up into their correct account number. Nothing changing on the bottom line, just getting them in the correct account number.
So move.
Motion's been made.
Second.
It has been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. We need to place on record minutes to be recorded for the Pea Ridge PSD regular board meeting, May 13th. Additional documents to be recorded would be Pea Ridge PSD Field and Managers Report for April, Pea Ridge PSD General Ledger Income Statement and Balance Sheet, period 11, for the year ending 2019. Monthly statement of the assessor of Cabell County, West Virginia for the month of June 2019.
Move them all.
Move them all.
A second.
Has been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Do we have any commissioners' representation reports?
Just like to announce that the first planning commission that has been held for a while will be held on July 25th, 2019, at 5:30 p.m. here in this chamber. So there's been some new members appointed, and look forward to that.
Okay. Is there anything for the good and welfare of Cabell County?
Yes, Madam. The WVU Extension Service will be having our grand opening of the Underwood Community Garden Revitalization Project on Tuesday at noon. July 16th, right behind the senior center where we've been doing work the last couple of weeks. The fence looks great. We got it up. It's got a lock on it, so outsiders cannot come in and access it, destroy it. Yesterday, we put in 4 raised beds. 2 of them are more like a wheelchair accessible, so you get the wheelchair
Oh,
underneath
that's
of them.
cool.
Then we have 2 lower, more traditional size raised beds with some flowers and hanging baskets, and it looks really nice. And we're going to do some more work out there tomorrow and Monday on it. There will be healthy snacks and refreshments provided with candy. Our family nutrition program play, and those snacks will be good and healthy for you, so come and try.
All right.
Who will have access to the garden there at the Underwood Center?
I think those ladies, it's primarily ladies that come there, so I think it's the people that traditionally come to the Underwood Senior Center have access to it. I'm not exactly sure.
I think that's what it's gonna be.
Can as well.
I didn't know if other senior centers could participate.
I'm sure they can, yeah. So I had a lady come to a class I offered there from a different senior center, just because she missed the class over Colorado or something.
Would you?
And then coming up, well, later in the month is the Cabell County Fair, of course, and then the Wayne County Fair. Back to back, and Wayne County, it's at Camden Park, it's $5 to get in this year. Much better deal than last year. And Cabell County does have the carnival back. I know last year they didn't, that was a big sticking point with a lot of people, because they didn't have the carnival, they had some blow-up things. They do have the carnival back, and the kids are doing a lot of hard work with their livestock project this summer.
Does
Thank
everybody
you.
know that you're our county agent? Would you care to introduce yourself?
Okay, I probably should start with that. I'm Evan Wilson. I am the Agricultural and Natural Resources Extension Agent for Cabell and Wayne counties. I started almost a year ago to the day, I guess, or was approved about a year ago to the day. We've been doing a lot of work in the senior centers. I'm going to try to get out to the schools this fall and the spring, do some agricultural programming, specifically more in the elementary schools. And then in Wayne County, we've been doing all kinds of stuff, just trying to get that program up and running. Cabell County kind of has their, kind of knows what they're doing with agriculture. Wayne County was trying to figure out what they're doing, trying to figure out the roles. But it's been great learning opportunities. I'll learn more about questions I can get answered or get calls about than I learned in school. Because I never thought I'd be asked, how do I do this? But it's been good. And then, and then in this fall, I'll be getting more responsibilities in this office. About a month and a half.
Yeah, I think the only thing in dairy husbandry they didn't teach you how to do was milk a cow, so you know, what the heck?
Are you aware of the Barbersville Wellness Council, that they have a community garden in Barbersville?
No,
It might be something you could
Barbersville Wellness, no, I
work
was
with
not aware of
them.
that.
Mhm. Yep. The mayor's wife is a part of it,
Okay.
Chris Tatum's wife.
They have a community garden where anybody can come and grow whatever they would like.
Huh, I was not aware of that.
Yeah, this is the second year for it, so
And
it's,
they've got the school children involved with it as well, so it might be an opportunity
Yeah.
for you all to help
Partner
out.
up and see what kind of program we can do there. Absolutely.
Yeah.
well, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
I have
I-
one more thing
Well, I
before
would
we
just,
adjourn.
I would just like to add that we did have the media dinner the other night for the county fair. Very nice meal, and they enlightened us on everything that's gonna be happening. And one of the things that they're doing, I think is brand new this year, is a family fun night on Tuesday night. And it only costs $5 for everybody to get in, and you can participate in everything, and they have some special events for that particular night. So that might be a fun time to take the whole family.
One thing I got coming in on that is they got, trying to get some of the mascots from different areas. They do
Mountaineers
have
gonna be there,
supposed to
yeah.
there for West Virginia University. We're working on Marco from Marshall and some other places in the other area that's got mascots. They have committed to coming, but hopefully they will.
Yeah, it sounded nice. They're gonna have fireworks and,
On
the
Saturday
whole
night,
9 yards.
They did have fireworks, it is not in the paper, that was a last minute deal. They got some funding for it, so they did have, and it's at, I think, 10:30 on Saturday night on the fireworks.
Okay, so they're having a
George,
fun
can't you
time.
get Marco's costume and?
I don't know whether I can do that or not, so I will leave it to the guys that does.
Thank you. Kelly?
I just want to bring up a question about logistically, we voted, last meeting, to do the meetings recorded and upload onto the website. But I'm just wondering if, when people present to us, if the public could hear people at the podium, we might want to listen in and see how audible the presenters were. And if not, maybe consider putting a microphone at the podium so that, people that are out there listening could hear the whole meeting. So we might want to look at that in transcription.
Okay, is there anything else to come before the meeting? If not, then the meeting will be adjourned as soon as we sign all the necessary paperwork. Thank you all.